Okay, this is gonna be a big one. We are gonna learn how to essentially click on one of these and get the details of that specific card. And when we click on it, we also wanna go to that specific page here in the URL. So if you remember in the second chapter of this course, we learned how to make a dynamic route. And the way we do that is in the product here, we create a new file, we add the square brackets and say slug or ID or whatever we want .js. So let's make that. And what we're going to do is say export default product details, just like that. So here we are going to return some data. I'm going to just do a div. Let me change this over to React. Let's make a div and just say, why does that look weird? Ah, forgot the function here. There we go. Here, let's just say details page. All right. So now when we head over to slash product slash whatever, like underground snacks, for example, we get to this details page. Fantastic. Cool, but there's nothing in here. So what do we do? Well, let's kind of build out the HTML for it, and then we're going to learn how to fetch it. So I'm just going to have a div here, and then let's just do an image here. This is going to be our product image. We'll have another div in here that's going to have a H tree with the title, and then we're going to have a P tag with the description. And then out here, we're going to have another div. This is going to basically be the quantity where we can add or remove from it. So I'm just going to have a span here saying quantity. And two buttons I want. Button. I want this is going to be a plus button. And then we're going to have a P tag that says 0. And then another button that says minus. Now we're going to make some changes to this. So I'm not going to write it nicely now. And then down here, so after this, I'm just going to have a normal button that says add to cart, like that. All right. So that's going to be our details page. Let's take a look. And there we go. Not much else going on. It's okay, because what we want to do essentially now is fetch the data for it. So again, we're going to need URQL in full force here. We're going to say import use query from URQL. Cool. But we also need to query the specific product. So how do we get that? Well, let's head over to our lib and query and make a new one. So this is how you can fetch one specific item or product, I should say. We're going to say get product query. Set this equal to backticks. I'm going to say query, and I'm going to name this. I'm going to say get product. All right. And this is going to have parentheses here. And we can define basically that we're going to have a slug, and it should be a type of string. And the exclamation mark here says that it's required. All right, so when we're doing this query, we have to make sure we pass down the slug. It's obligatory, and it has to be a string. And in here now, we can say products, and we can pass in filters, and then another pair of curly brackets, and we can say slug has to be equal to $slug. Oh my God, what is this? Okay, so this is specific to Strapi. This is how you fetch. This is how you do the filtering. This is how your filtering system works. And the $slug basically means that's the variable that we're passing down when we're doing this get product query. You're gonna see it in just a bit. But that's essentially it. We're passing down a variable called slug. It has to be string, and it's required. And we're going to filter out the the slug that's equal to the variable that we're passing down. All right, so it's going to take a look at all the products, and the slug that matches our variable, that's the one that's going to be returned for us. And after this one, it's pretty much the same. We do data like that, and then in here we have attributes like that, and we get the title, the slug, the description, the price, the image, and the image is data, attributes, formats, and that's it. Cool. So now we can get this and imports, get product query from dot slash, where is it? Is it dot slash? No, dot slash lib slash query. There we go. Okay, there we go. We're getting close, I promise. So here, what we can do now is fetch GraphQL data. Okay, so const results, kind of the same way as we did it before, use query, and in here, I can define our query, just like we did before, and it's going to be the get product query. But again, remember this time we have a variable, so we can pass that down. We're going to pass down the slug. So let's just pass down a string now, and then I'll show you how we can dynamically do it. So in this case, I know I have a product called Underground Snacks, and I know it's underground snacks like that. Okay, you can also take a look here if you click on one. You can copy one of these over, like bucket hat or pavilion shirt. So just copy one of these slugs over and paste it in here. Okay, boom. So let's just paste that in there and hit save. So again, this slug is gonna go from here in this query in here, right, like that, which is a string, and it's required. We are passing it down, and then it's gonna take a look at all the products and all the slugs, and it's gonna take a look if the slug matches the one that we passed down. And if it does, it's gonna return the data back to us. Cool, so does it work? That's the question. Imagine it doesn't work. Oh, the depression. Well, let's try. Const data fetching an error is equal to results. And again, we can pretty much, let's close everything up here to kind of clean it up. We can pretty much go to index.js and copy this over like that. But in this case here, I'm gonna get rid of this last line and just say console log data. Let's see, does it work? Console, oh, look at that, we get back one object. Is it the one we want? Data. Let's look, open these up. Yes, look at that. We get that one data back. Awesome. The problem is though, I mean, we are kind of hard coding the text in here, right? Where is it? See, we're just adding slug underground snacks. So, I mean, it doesn't matter where we are, it's always going to pass this down. So there should be a way where we can get this underground snacks from the URL and pass that down as a variable down here. And luckily we can do that quite easily. We can go up here and just import something called use router from next. Okay, and now take a look here. I'm going to fetch the slug, and the way we can do that is say const, let's say router is equal to use router. Let's console log this out so you can see what it is. Router. Okay, let's do an inspect element, go to console. Did we see it? That's the question. Yeah, there we go. See, it's an object with all of these different types of properties. It allows us to navigate to another page. It allows us to prefetch data. It allows us to see where we are on the page. See route, product, slug. And there should be a property here called query. Where is it? I don't see it. Query, here we go. And look at that, it has a slug of underground snacks attached to it. And if I change this to something else, Look at that. It's on something else now, the slug. So that's really cool. So now what I can do is I can extract that specific query from the use router. So again, the way we can do that is that curly brackets and just extract the query. And I can pass this down here to the slug like that. All right. So now take a look. I can go over to, let's say I want bucket hat, right? So I can do slash product slash bucket hat like that. And it says that it got an invalid slug. I wonder why that is. Oh, here we have to do query.slug. Okay, because query, if we console log it out, it returns us an object, see? An object. So we have to do query.slug to get back the string. Now take a look, I just added bucket hat, and look at that, we get back the data for our bucket hat. Amazing, it works, it's magic. Oh, so happy. Okay, and I think that's gonna be it for now. What we are also gonna do in the next one, I'm gonna leave it for the next one so this is not too long, is I don't wanna go manually write this in. I wanna basically just click on this and I wanna get to that page, right? Makes sense, it's super simple.